Okay, let's talk business. What if you could just swap all that guesswork for actual certainty? Imagine having a mathematical rule, a simple one, that could pinpoint the exact moment your business turns a profit. Sounds like something out of a movie, right? But it's not. It's the power of functional relationships, and we're going to break it all down right now.
You know, this is the question every single entrepreneur, every manager, heck, anyone with a big idea asks themselves. How do you stop guessing and start knowing? How do you actually chart a course for success when the future feels like a total mystery?
Well, the answer is surprisingly simple. It's all about learning a new language. And no, I'm not talking about Spanish or French. I'm talking about the language of functions. This is the math that actually describes how things are related and lets us predict what's going to happen next.
So let's pull back the curtain. We're about to see how just a few simple rules can take all those vague, uncertain questions about business and turn them into solid answers you can actually build a company on.
So what even is a function? Honestly, the best way to think about it is like your own personal prediction machine. You put something in one side and it gives you a very specific, totally predictable result out the other side. Every single time.
To get a little more official, our source material defines a function as a rule that lays out the relationship between variables. It's basically the engine that connects a cause, your input, to a specific effect, your output.
Think about it like this little machine here. The input is super simple. It's just the number of items you're making. The machine's internal rule, well, that's your cost function. It crunches the numbers and spits out a very precise output, the total cost for that many items. See? Simple, right?
Now here's where it gets really cool. When we take these rules and we plot them on a graph, all of a sudden those numbers stop being just numbers. They become a picture, a story, of your business's potential journey.
In business, there are kind of two main stories that play out. On the left, you've got the linear function, a straight, steady, predictable line. Think of something like a subscription service with the same growth every month. But on the right, you've got the quadratic function, and that tells a totally different story. That curve could be a product's entire life cycle. Sales boom, they hit a peak and then they level off. It models the real world, with all its ups and downs.
Okay, now that we can see these stories, let's apply them to the three formulas that are at the heart of literally every business. If you get these right, you're on your way. Get them wrong and, well, let's just make sure we get them right.
First up, the cost function. This is all the money going out, and it's really made of two parts. Your fixed costs, things that don't change like your rent, and your variable costs, which totally depend on how much stuff you make.
So let's make this real with an example from our source. Imagine starting a new workshop. Before you've made a single thing, you've already spent $1.5 million on rent, on equipment. That's your fixed cost. That is the financial hole you're starting in and need to climb out of.
Next, we have the revenue function. This is the fun one. It's all the money coming in. Super simple. It's just the price you sell an item for multiplied by how many you actually sell. No fixed revenue here. It all comes down to sales.
And that brings us to the moment of truth. Profit. This isn't just some number on a spreadsheet. It's the ultimate report card for your business. It's whatever is left after your revenue has gone head-to-head with your costs. The stuff left in the treasure chest, that's your profit.
So here it is, the whole financial picture for our workshop all laid out. The costs start high at that fixed $1.5 million, and then they go up by $450 for every item made. But on the other side, every item sold brings in $1,450 in revenue. The game is crystal clear now. Revenue has to catch up to and pass costs. And with these functions, we can figure out exactly when that's going to happen.
And that brings us to the climax of our whole story, what our source calls the break-even point. This is it. This is the moment of truth for any new business. It's a simple question, but it is the most important one you will ever ask. At what exact point do you cross that line from being in the red to being in the black?
So, the break-even point is that magic moment where your total income perfectly cancels out your total expenses. You haven't made a dime of profit yet, but, and this is huge, you haven't lost any money either. It's the launch pad. It's where profitability begins. And the tool we use to find this point is so powerful, yet so simple. We just set up an equation where the money coming in is equal to the money going out. By solving for X, we find the exact number of items we have to sell to hit that perfect balance.
And for our workshop, when we solve that equation, we get this number, 1,500. That is the magic number. The workshop has to produce and sell exactly 1,500 items just to cover every single one of its costs.
And this number lays out the entire strategy. If you sell less than 1,500 items, you're still losing money. Sell exactly 1,500, you're at 0. But every single item you sell after that 1,500th one, that's pure profit.
So as we wrap this up, let's just think for a second about what this all really means. These functions, they're not just some abstract math homework. They are a practical, honest-to-goodness blueprint for making smarter decisions in your business.
Here's the big takeaway. By defining your costs and revenue using functions, you take all that uncertainty and you transform it into a clear, predictable roadmap. You know your target, you know your milestones, and you know exactly what it's going to take to win.
You know, we started with this definition, but now we can really feel its power. That relationship it's describing, that's the engine of your business. It's the link between your effort and your results, between your costs and your profit.
So I'm just going to leave you with this question to chew on. Forget about business for a second. Think about a project, a personal goal, anything. What's the one crucial relationship you really need to understand? What's the one big question that a simple function could probably help you answer?